did a 2-year field study in North Carolina, and we were actually evaluating a couple of different sustainable soil management practices. Specifically, we were looking at compost, summer cover crop, and then beneficial soil inoculants added to the strawberry plug. And the inoculants we were looking at were vermicompost and our buskier mycorrhizal fungi. And our goal in doing this study was to sort of evaluate the incorporation of these production practices into both fumigated and non-fumigated strawberry plasticulture production, to see if we need to be making specific recommendations about the effects of these practices both on yield and then also on soil health within different fumigation systems. And over the 2-year study, we did see that certain practices did tend to yield better in the fumigated systems and other practices yielded better in the non-fumigated system. So within the fumigated system, cover crops tended to yield the highest, whereas plug inoculation techniques seem to have the biggest impact on increasing yields in the non-fumigated system. And then how that related to changes in soil health, we did see that compost had an impact on increasing certain measures of soil fertility, specifically pH and cation exchange capacity. We didn't see that there were really any physical changes to the soil after 2 years, so there's no changes to aggregate stability or organic matter. But we did see some interesting results regarding biological aspects of soil health. Particularly, we're using the plug inoculation technique sort of with the idea that we could reintroduce these good soil microorganisms into the fumigated system. And we monitored that by looking at our buskier mycorrhizal fungi in the strawberry roots. And basically what we saw was we weren't able to reestablish mycorrhizal fungi back into the fumigated system. So our plug inoculation technique didn't work for that reason. We also looked at the end of the second field season, we wanted to evaluate total soil microbial populations. And we did see that there was a really big effect of fumigation on still reducing microbial activity even as much as 8 months after the last fumigation event. And we didn't see really that any production practice could mitigate that reduction. The plug inoculation, compost, and cover crop all had slightly higher microbial activity relative to the control in the fumigated system, but none of them reestablished microbial activity at the same rate as what we saw in the non-fumigated system. And then finally, we did see some results where fumigation was actually having an effect on fruit quality, particularly shelf life and fruit flavor, where berries had certain measures of shelf life that were actually better when we were fumigating, but berries also had lower levels of bricks and fruit sweetness when we were fumigating. And particularly here in the southeast, where a majority of our growers are marketing towards pick your own, flavor is something that's very important, and so that reduction in flavor under the fumigated system might be something that growers might need to consider in the future. Though we did see actually the application of compost could increase fruit berry sweetness whether we were fumigating or not, so that might be something growers can use. And so that's kind of a synopsis of what we did in our 2-year field study at North Carolina State University.